9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh my goodness, here we are again this week, the podcast Real Estate with Soul. So excited, and you all know I love to box. So who better to have on than one of my most favorite boxing coaches, Eric Garcia.
Hello, thank you.
So stoked to have you on, Eric. So here's my question for you to start as we do every morning, 5 a.m. workout, Monday and Tuesday with this guy. Well, Monday is 6 a.m. But Tuesday, 5 a.m. every morning, this guy gets to the gym, opens up, has it totally ready, and then we go through a warm-up. And we just kind of move slowly through the workout until he takes it to a really high intense level and then brings me back down. And I love that about you. And I think that's what boxing is in general. So I'm going to start with a really easy one. When did you start boxing?
I was 10 years old.
10.
Yeah, it really wasn't my choice. I got beat up a couple times.
Okay.
And I mean, not horribly, but yeah, I got beat up. And my grandma's actually, she had enough. And she pitched it to my parents, and they were like, "You do it. You're going to take him. You pay for it." And we never looked back.
Wow. Okay, so my kid just started wanting to box at 17, and that stressed me out. So I could only imagine having a 10-year-old come to you and be like, "Okay, I'm going to box." I mean, and it was your grandma's idea to top it off. Where did your grandma get that idea from?
I don't know. My grandma's from East LA, so she's a little bit rough. Yeah. But if you met her, she's like 4 feet tall, like 4'10".
She's a rock
But
star.
she's small. She's dynamite, dude.
Yeah.
Firecracker for sure.
Well, and you always say that size doesn't really matter in boxing, does it?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. It makes things a little bit easier, but no, it doesn't.
So why boxing? Is it because you were getting beat up, or what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I got roughed around. I got roughed up a few times, and but like I fell in love with it. I was crazy uncoordinated, so I'm not very athletic.
Yeah.
So I was always that guy. Like left foot was going the opposite direction of my right hand. I was just all over the place, right?
Really?
Yeah, I'd be walking into things. My sport, I wasn't very, like I said, I wasn't athletic. Basketball was horrible to watch. I mean, everything you can think of. Watch me run, it's horrible. But once I started boxing, everything started kind of falling into place. Like even my football got better, my basketball got better, my confidence went up. I don't know about my school. School got worse, but yeah. But I was super focused.
Yeah.
I was able to carry myself in certain situations. I wasn't afraid walking alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I try to teach my guys as well. Is like you can walk in a room and not feel like awkward or the confidence goes. And I'm sure you understand in your profession, right?
Yes.
I mean, you walk. I see how it is. I got a lot of realtors, and everybody's competing with the next. And having that confidence and being able to walk into a room and not even blink, like.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I would agree with that. So one of the things that I'm curious about is how old were you when you did your first fight?
I think I was 12.
Really?
Yeah, I was 12, and it lasted about like 15 seconds. I got beat up pretty bad.
Oh my gosh.
But
and you still went back for more?
Yeah, it was. Well, the guy I fought, it was a bad matchup. So like this is also like everything kind of falls into place. Like as far as like. We were just talking about that this morning about how things happen for a reason.
Right.
And everything that happens is necessary. And when they threw me in, the guy, my coach, he was a little bit young. He wasn't very experienced.
Yeah.
His dad was my trainer.
Okay.
But he took over, for some reason, he took over for that day.
Yeah.
He matched me with a guy with 30 fights, right?
Wow.
And it was my first fight.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I was crazy inexperienced. I was young. He was a little bit older than me. And it was brutal.
Really?
But, I bounced back. I guess I showed resilience, right? And I went on a good little win streak after that for amateurs. But I mean, it just everything. Like I said, makes me stronger, pushes me to be ready for the next one.
Yeah.
You know.
And so, when did you progress from being the boxer to stepping into coaching?
Oh man, I don't know if I ever have.
Interesting.
I think so. I'm a boxer first, for sure.
Really?
Yeah, and I think that's why I can relate with my guys so well. And why I don't really, I'm not successful. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh, so successful. Don't let him tell you that.
No, I'm just saying, I can relate with the fighters. I know what it is because I've been on the wrong end of every probably situation in boxing.
Yes.
And usually it's because of bad management or selfish coaches and whatever the case, right?
Yeah.
So I just try to guide my guys the best way as possible. So I'm always going to be a fighter probably till I die.
So tell me more about that. I appreciate that because I know for me personally, I mean, as my boxing coach, like I think you're phenomenal at coaching.
Thank you.
Coaching me specifically too in my growth and my ability to really understand the sport. So I love that you bring the fighter mentality to your coaching. When you're coaching those, and I'm not looking to do this professional, but you have a lot of people that you are helping to progress into the professional boxing world.
Yeah.
What do you do to help them move into that mental capacity to be able to do it?
I'm still learning. It's not easy. I do try to like push and pull constantly, right? Where I will push them heavily, right? You guys know this. And then I try to pull back a little bit.
Yes.
Give them some confidence.
Yes.
Right? Give them a little more ground. Then I break it down.
Yeah.
Right? And then pull back. So that's, so far it's been successful.
Yeah.
But I'm still like finding new ways. And I feel like that's where I don't think I'll ever be content where I'm at as far even as a coach, and I'll never really see it because like I feel like I'm still learning every day.
Yes.
And I'm trying to leave myself open to learning every day.
Yes.
Which is beautiful, like having people like you in my gym. Because you guys are all like entrepreneurs, right? You guys
Yeah.
are all, but you're constantly looking to grow daily.
Right.
Like even the fact I see you're hustling and then we're doing this now, right?
Yeah.
Like we're all over the place, but also like it's controlled, right?
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's badass to see. It's great to see.
Yeah.
And so I try to take that, and I've been so much better in like learning and just being open to learning. Like I said, because of the heavy hitters I have in my gym.
Yeah.
Business wise too, right?
Yeah.
And we're all hard workers.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm just soaking in every day and seeing what else I can add to the the arsenal.
I love that you're so growth minded because when you stop growing, what happens, right? We become stagnant and nothing moves forward. Right? But when you're growth minded and you're willing to, and you're always open to different perspectives and ideas, how do you help your athletes develop those skills?
I'm still trying because, like I said, I have a lot of young guys now,
Yes.
and most of them don't want to listen.
Yeah.
It's
like raising children.
Yeah, and so
You get that too. You're a dad of 2 boys.
definitely. It's hard. And I teach them. I try to tell them everything I've gone through, and most of them don't realize it. Because they weren't there when I was there.
Right.
But I was in some amazing camps, and so you just try to tell from experience. But I feel like I was victim of this as well. Is where like you have so many people giving you so much advice, which is gonna get you probably gonna take you to a level to be successful, right?
Right.
But you're too immature to take it.
Yes.
And so time will tell. Like I just try to give them as much information as possible.
Yes.
And hopefully they'll grasp onto something.
Yeah.
But like I said, they're so young, and most of them don't.
Yeah.
Just like I didn't.
Yeah.
And that's where I didn't go. That's why I really believe why I didn't go where I needed to go in my career.
Right.
So I just try to give them as much info as possible, and try to be the guy to be like, I told you so.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna happen where you're not gonna get what you want.
Right.
And then when it does happen, say, okay, well, find another way to say I told you so without saying I told you so.
Yes.
But kind of like do like, okay, well then what do we talk about? Like where can we get to this level? Where can we do that? And most of the time it has nothing to do with the actual sport.
Yeah.
It's mostly with the mentality around the sport, either business or what they're doing outside the ring. But yeah, it's crazy difficult. And like I said, I'm learning every day. I'm trying to get better of ways to like kind of get through these kids' heads.
Yeah. I mean, I watch you with the guys in the evening. His gym is open from 2 to 8, correct?
No, 4 p.m., 8:30 p.m., Monday through Thursday.
Okay, thank you. 4 to 8 p.m. in the evening or 8:30 p.m. in the evening. And I see you have all these different personalities and all these different guys that you're working with, training them in all different ways. And each one of them have a different attitude. Mm-hmm. Do you pick and choose your fighters, or how does that work out?
It's funny, I was just talking about this. Well, I don't know if you've ever seen Ratatouille.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I consider myself Gusto. Like anybody can cook. Well, I believe like anybody can box.
Yes.
Right? I really do.
Well, I think that's awesome.
I pride myself in, especially the way I teach.
Yes.
It's for people like me.
Yes.
Not athletic.
Yeah.
Right? I'm older.
Right.
So in order to hang with these young, athletic, strong kids, I can still box. I still get there and do my thing. But I have to follow the formula.
Yeah.
Right. And, but I believe as long as you follow the recipe, right, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
And you see guys like Jake Paul,
Yeah.
or I mean, he's not very athletic, and he's doing well with what he's got so far. But my point is his style. Whoever coached him is doing a great job.
Yeah.
Circling, feigning, creating space, not really getting in there and getting roughed up. Right.
Yeah.
Playing like old man ball.
Yeah.
Right. Kind of like small ball, and that's kind of how I teach. So like I believe, and I can take anybody off the street. And as long as I can, they take their time with me and they follow my direction, we can be successful. I'm not going to say we're going to win a championship or a title, but I think we can be a contender for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I really believe that. And anyone, I swear, and that's what I pride myself on, because I get some random people, and you'd be surprised, like older people, and they start to progress, and you see them really making adjustments, because it's all mental, really.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
I wasn't talking about you, I said older people, but...
I am going to be 50 in September.
Congrats.
And I'm boxing. Is that crazy? But I've just got to say, like, people ask me that all the time, like, why boxing, Lori? And I just love it. I am absolutely have fell in love with the sport myself and have such a greater understanding. It seems to me like boxing is, you always refer to it as like it's chess, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a strategic move, and it's about timing. It's timing. This morning, again, you were helping me with my timing on when to land a punch.
And being patient.
Yeah. Oh, patience. It is. It really is. Like, I have learned so much in this. I've been boxing now for just over a year. And I've learned so much and developed so much more now boxing with you. I mean, do you think that through moments in life you can really develop your boxing ability? Or how do you think people really move through when they decide, they make the commitment to, I'm going to do boxing?
To be a boxer? And what you're saying, like what point in life?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're saying an age, then I mean, of course, the younger the better, right?
Right.
It's easier to teach, and they can retain more, and it just becomes natural. It's harder when they're older.
Right.
But I mean, really, I feel like in your early to mid 20s is where you really start to understand, right? And you start to grow and you make it your own.
Yeah.
I feel like my best year of boxing, and I never even fought that year, was when I was 26.
Oh, interesting.
I tried to make a comeback, and it didn't happen, obviously.
Right.
But I was just, I mean, like, I started understanding the whole ideas of what I was setting up, what I was doing. And I think actually a lot of it has to do with your lifestyle too, like your maturity level. Yeah. Right? And so I don't want to say a specific age. 26 is where I really started getting we had this talk this morning again, it's crazy. But 26 is the age where I really started understanding and seeing like I was like either out of control or whatever the case was, right? And my boxing started mixing in with that nicely, really nicely. And but yeah, I would say early to mid 20s.
I love that. So give us the most memorable moment for you in your boxing career.
Oh man, I try to block them all out. But most memorable moment in my boxing career. I mean, I was so blessed to be around so many amazing people, right? Right. I mean, I was in camp with Tim Bradley, Riddick Bowe, right? Yeah. And I mean, Shane Mosley. I mean, I was everywhere. I was always in the backseat. I was that kid in the background. Yeah. So I got to really see and pretty much soak everything in, right? Yes. But most memorable moment. I mean, I was on Andre Ward's undercard, my debut. But I got to draw that fight, so it wasn't a great night. Really? Yeah, we were upset. But it was exciting to be. The build-up was great. You know, I had such a great team. So we were always like on good cards. Yeah. So I was always in a great position. I got a lot of exposure. Oh man, greatest moment.
Do you think the team matters?
At times.
See, I don't even understand the team concept when it comes to boxing.
I think it depends on the boxer.
Okay.
There are certain guys that can get in there and they don't really need a coach. Yeah. Right? And there's guys that they depend on everything their coach gives them. Yeah. So, I mean, in my experiences, I mean, I was with Joel Diaz. He's a Hall of Fame coach. Yeah. But I had a bunch of different coaches. Yeah. Right. One of my coaches passed away when I was 15, and he was a good coach. Yeah. And then from there, I went up north, and I was with them for 5 years. We ended badly, and but they were a good team. But just it was different. I would never coach the way they coached me. Yeah. They were a little aggressive. Yeah. But and then with Joel, he kind of was the kind of guy like, if you show up, I'm going to give you attention. If you don't, it's on you, right?
Right.
So I kind of took a mixture of all of them, especially in my coaching now.
Yeah.
But yes, teams does matter, yeah, because they give you the push, they give you the guidance, and of course the knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And especially when you're in that corner, you want to have the right direction,
Yeah.
right? Because it's so easy to get lost.
Yeah.
And like I said, I had Joel Diaz, an amazing coach, and there's nobody else I'd rather go to war with, right? Because at the end of the day, we are going to war. This guy's taking you,
right,
trying to take your soul. But man, I can't really tell you one moment. I mean, it's a real big blur. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of feels like it's a different life at times. Because it was a dream.
Yeah.
Because it has been so long. It's been 12 years since my last fight.
Yeah.
No, 13 years. But yeah, it feels like it was another life at times. But I do remember a lot. But it was just, yeah, it was. Man, I can't tell you. I don't know.
So I'm curious because with boxing, so many people have the opinion that boxing is a very aggressive sport and it's brutal. And
True.
I would say that boxing has developed over the years from where it was to where it is now. What's your current perspective of the boxing sport?
Well, again, because I am a fighter first, right? Maybe if I were a coach, I think differently. Well, if I thought in a coach's mentality, I think differently.
Yes.
But I think boxing is in a great position right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ask a random person, a casual, they'll probably say it's horrible, right?
Yeah.
Because YouTubers are boxing and all this stuff, which I think is great.
Yeah.
It's like, I always compare it to like, I mean, celebrities have charity games for basketball,
Yes.
right? And you don't see NBA players complaining about it.
Right.
Same thing for boxing. Like, let these guys make their money. Like, why are we so jealous of what
Right.
they're doing? I always like focus on what you're doing, you know?
Yeah.
And life isn't fair. Some people are going to get better opportunity. They might not deserve it. I'm sure,
Yeah.
like I said, in every business you see that.
Yes.
You see, you know, kind of faking it till they make it, but it is what it is. But I think boxing's in a great state because I am a fighter first.
Yeah.
And I was making $900 a fight.
Yeah.
Right. So to see these guys getting paid for
Yeah.
all the hard work they're doing, right? Promoters. And I'm not going to say the name, but we were in a position once where it says either you take the fight or I'll just get a Mexican to do it. Another Mexican to do it for cheaper.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Really?
And
Wow.
It's real though.
Yeah.
And that just shows sometimes where the sport was.
Yes.
You're not going to see them doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to threaten us if we aren't going to get paid. Then we're not going to fight,
Yeah.
or whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
But I think guys do deserve a certain amount of money. Mm-hmm. I think if they don't get it, well, really, I mean, that's between you and the promoter. But
Right.
if you can, more power to you. Why not?
Yeah.
I can't hate on that.
Yeah.
So I love to see the balls kind of like in our field now, right?
Right.
Like we have a little bit of control.
Yeah.
Because it is our heads at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I tell my fighters this, like, in this sport, brain damage is guaranteed.
Yes.
You are knowingly cutting years off your life.
Yes.
That there's no other way around it.
Yes.
You're right. It is aggressive, and it
Yes.
is, and that's the real part of this is we are knowingly shortening our lifespan.
Right.
No doubt.
Right.
I'm so blessed right now that I can speak. I feel okay.
Yeah.
Right. But who knows where I'm going to be in 10 years? I took a lot
Right.
of punishment in my career.
Right.
A lot of punishment growing up, starting at 10, fighting and training all the way till even now. I'm still moving with these guys.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going to happen to me, right?
Yeah.
God willing, I'm clean all the way till I'm older. But my point is, the amount of risk that we put into this game, why not if they can get paid? I'm for
Right.
it. I'm all for it.
Right. My son tells me all the time, Mom, you do not need to spar. Why do you need someone to hit your head?
It's true. It's true. But until you're in there, and like you said, it's the ultimate like chess.
It
right?
is.
So when you're in there and you see and you understand the game, you're not just going there to duke it out and brawl with people, and you see that there's so much more. Right? You're setting up traps, and you're making that person miss, and you can see them mentally getting frustrated. And that's a
Right.
good green light for you, right? It's kind of addicting,
Right.
and that's why I love to spar still. Like I get these pros coming in, and they call me up like, "Hey Eric, can I get some rounds?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's go."
Yeah.
I can't say no. It
Yeah.
is. It's addicting. That feeling you can't get.
Well, and so there's all kinds of different sparring, right? For me, it's training sparring. So it's not like super impactful. It doesn't, any hit is dangerous.
It's very true.
However, my coaches always make sure that I'm safe. You make sure I'm safe. You're always like, I don't know. I'll put you with this person because you know who I should spar with and who I shouldn't spar with, right?
True, but I mean, it's always dangerous. Like,
It is.
I mean, one punch changes everything, and even if it's not like a full hard-on blow, it hits you the right way, it can mess you up, give you a concussion, and sometimes these concussions can last for up to a year, longer. You can have symptoms for the rest of your life. Yeah, really. So, that's why we train the way we train, right? Yes. We have a game plan, and it's always when it's such a risk, right? Yes. And it's also why it's such a rush as well.
I know that I asked you recently at the gym. I asked you, the question was, what's your favorite technique or thing to do when you box? And you said you like to make them miss.
True.
And I thought that was so interesting that was your perspective when you go in there, and it shows in your training. I think you keep safety first.
Defense first.
Yes.
Right. I do like to work off my defense, but I feel like the more you miss, the more frustrated you get.
Yes.
Right. And I'm going to go on to something else, but like even like in an argument, right?
Yeah.
The more they try to hurt you and they see it's not working,
yeah.
right? It makes them angrier and it gets them out of their game plan.
Yeah.
And then we can start landing our blows, which is verbal or physical, right? But so I do. Yeah, I get more of a rush off making people miss than actually hitting them for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, nothing better. You watch a guy like throwing 20 punches and missing all of them.
Yeah.
Like, dang, that guy, that's sharp. That's nice. Right?
That's some great footwork.
Yeah. Or whatever the case. Yes. So yeah, I do enjoy that. Definitely.
I would say so. I know when I throw a punch, I'm super frustrated.
Right. It gets you out of your game.
I am like, what the heck? And it's not very comfortable on your arms either when you miss.
Tires you out physically, tires you out mentally. I mean, it's pretty cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
I just, for me, boxing is just something that is, it's a full body sport, and I love that ability to have that like, it's your mind development, your body and your hands and the sweat, it's everything, right? It all comes together, and it's just, gosh, so like, it really does give me a high.
Yeah,
personally,
for
me.
Yes.
I mean, obviously I do it 6 days a week.
Yeah. I always see boxing. You never stop.
And I would love to add, from all of your training with all the different coaches that you've worked with, I know I have different boxing coaches as well. Okay. As you know, I have learned so much from each one of them, and every style is very different. Okay. And I think that you've also had that experience from your upbringing, and you bring that to your gym to share what you believe is the best experience for your fighters.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like I'm very blessed to have the coaches I've had, because they were all pretty good coaches, and then also with the negatives I got from them as well. Yeah. I know what not to do to my fighters. Right. Or what I didn't like as a fighter, so I'm assuming they wouldn't like that either, right? Yeah. I had Larry Ramirez. He was on the 88 Olympics, I think, or maybe 86, but he was on an Olympic team in the 80s. Yeah. Larry Ramirez, he owned Fontana Boxing. Yes. Great coach. He taught me the in and out, right? That's where I started in and out. Yeah. And then I had Bob Davison right after that. He was actually, if you heard of Kronk Boxing out of Detroit, he was like another part of that in Big Bear. He ran Kronk Boxing in Big Bear. So Mal Stewart was his kind of mentor-ish guy. And I got to meet him, and I went through Bob. But and Bob passed away when I was 15 or 16. But long story short, he taught me the offline punching and cross-blocking. Yes. Right, and moving the feet in and out, in and out, right? And then I went up north with Max Garcia. I got to train with Don Familton, and they were really big on my conditioning, right? And then of course game plan, strategy, spacing, feigning, feigning, circle, right? Yeah. And then I got to go with Joel Diaz, who's a Hall of Fame coach now. He probably has like 30 world champions. Yeah. And he's out of Indio, California. And Joel was real big on, moving the head, hands at home, twisting the hips, taking the steps and twisting, stepping and twisting, extension. Yeah. Right. So as I got older, I just started putting it all together. Yeah. And that's kind of also how I teach. Like, I try to overload you guys, and then you pick what you like, right? Yeah. So same thing with me. Like, I'll go back, Larry Ramirez boxing, right? Yeah. And then from Larry Ramirez, I made it Eric Garcia boxing. What worked for me. What I didn't like, I left out. I didn't keep. And so kind of the same thing. Like, so my background is pretty cool. Like, I have like a big mixture of so many different strategies and styles.
100%.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You just took me through my Monday morning workout.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally everything you worked on with me
Isn't that
today.
funny? Yeah, it's crazy.
Like you were like, Lori, you got to move your hips more, and
Take
you
the
got to
step.
do got to do feints, Lori, and you got to like it was.
Circle, yeah.
Circle.
So you see how like every coach, everything was necessary.
Yes.
Right. And even though like some of them dumped me or whatever the case was, like I learned so much from them, right? And so I hold on to that. It's pretty cool.
So I like the language you just used. They dumped you. What does that mean in the boxing world? Like they said, we're no longer coaching you. How does that work?
Yeah, pretty much. We're not coaching. Get out of my house right now. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, definitely. Yeah, they let me go, and at the time it was really hard.
Yeah.
Right. But I wasn't. This is where I kind of go with my guys too. Is like, knowing a win is a win, right?
Right.
I wasn't happy anyway.
Right.
But and they ended up giving me what I wanted without me having to do it, right? I
Yeah.
didn't have to cut ties. They let me go.
Yeah.
But this is also one of the biggest factors in that ended my career. I was so angry that I got cut off
Yeah.
that I couldn't see the fact that they gave me what I wanted all along.
Right.
Like I went from them. They were great team.
Yeah.
But I went from them to a Hall of Fame coach, probably
Yeah.
one of the best. He's probably top 3 right now in the world,
Right.
right? He has all the connections, everything. And that was great. I was in great situations, great opportunities, but I couldn't see that because I was so blinded by anger by
Yeah.
the people letting me go.
Yeah.
But they really did me a favor. They let me go. They put me in a better situation.
Yeah.
But that's the hardest thing about being young. That's what we're talking about, maturity
Yeah.
and seeing that. And at times you don't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I see it now 13 years later, which sucks, but now I can teach my guys that, right? Hey, dude, take your wins and run with them. Like,
Yeah.
they're not always going to come the way you want.
Yeah.
But a win is a win at the end of the day. Take it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, I'm still learning, right?
Well, I would say this morning we had this conversation, right? It was all about timing, and it's all a season in life, right? And every opportunity moves you on to the next
Yes,
opportunity. And you continue to move and move and move. And you have this successful boxing gym now. You have all of these athletes that look up to you, learn so much. And the beautiful thing about your training, me personally seeing it in there, is not only do you train them from the perspective of the type of athlete they are, but you also help them develop their ability to move through the sport mentally. So you're supporting them in all aspects. You're not just doing the physical conditioning.
I'm going to have to raise my prices. No, you're right. And thank you for that. Because
Yes.
sometimes, even now, like people are thinking, oh man, you're where you need to be. You're doing so well. And like, you got it all like under control. Right. And, like sometimes you don't. Like you forget, and you think, like, I'm not gonna lie, there's times I get bitter and I think about things I went through or people that haven't shown me certain love, right?
Yeah.
But then you say things like that, you got all these people that, and I have so much support, and I'm so blessed, and it takes things like that to remind me, right? Because at times we do forget that, like, we focus on the ones that aren't there instead of all the ones we got there.
Yeah.
You know, and I tell my guys this too, like, if we get 20 guys that show up to your fight and you're expecting 200, you're gonna be considered that a failure, but really, hey, you had 20 people that really came out and supported you. Like, be grateful for the ones that are there, right?
Yes.
And so I'm still, like I said, I'm learning that too. It's not easy, but you know.
Yeah.
But thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're an amazing coach, business owner. I mean, you have really developed something over there, right?
I'm trying.
We didn't even get into the conversation of opening your gym. And I love that he says this, and we'll have him back at some point. He can talk about his business experience of opening his gym. But he said he opened the doors and put the boxing ring up. And what did you expect?
I expected people just to run in, and nobody showed up. Yeah, really.
That's a whole nother story. And I just loved when he said that, because as a business owner myself, you open doors and you're like, let's do this. And then
no, I mean, hard work is needed in anything you do, right?
Yes.
And you don't realize that, though. You think, like, okay, I have an idea, and it's such a good idea, and it's going to just run, and everyone's going to jump on with me.
Yes.
And it's not always going to work that way.
Not
and that's
always.
the hardest thing is about sticking to the plan, like I tell you guys, right? Even if we're going to get hit with punches early, just because you get hit with one punch doesn't mean you throw the towel in, right?
Right.
Hey, it's one punch, take a deep breath, get back to what we did.
Yes.
So this is another thing. Like, if you prepare for a fight, say I've been doing the same style now for 26 years.
Right.
I've been boxing for 26 years, the same style. And then one time I get hit, I throw my game plan out the window and start going crazy and trying to panic, right?
Yeah.
I quit.
Yeah.
Maybe not physically walking out of the ring, but mentally I quit on everything
Right.
I've worked for, right?
Right.
And so even here at with my gym, like just because people didn't show up right away, I stuck to the plan, thank God.
Yes.
And eventually it took 4 to 5 years before I started making money.
Yeah.
I was working graveyard. I remember I would open up at 2 p.m. I would close at 8, and I'd take off home, shower, and then go work my overnight,
your job.
graveyard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was working at FedEx. Was it RL Freight or something like that? I can't remember the dang name.
Yeah.
But I was everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's just hard work, and it doesn't come right away.
No.
I get a lot of guys they'll write me and they'll be like, Eric, when did you start seeing money? I've been going for 3 months hard, and it's like I'm not seeing anything. And I'm like, dude, 3 months is nothing.
That's nothing.
I'm telling you, and I'm so blessed, like I said, to have people like you guys. I'm learning from you guys daily.
Yeah.
Right. Justin Brown, awesome. Yeah. He's a great mentor
Amazing.
of mine.
He's been on the podcast here,
really? Yeah.
some of his episodes.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, yeah. Justin's the one that really set me off.
Yeah.
And all thanks to him. Because when he came to me, I was barely getting by. And when he came in and he was like, want to do 5 a.m.s, I wasn't even going to do 5 a.m.s.
Yeah.
I didn't even thought about it.
Yeah.
But I'm such a hard worker.
Right.
And I was like, I'll do anytime. You say 4 a.m. And I did some 4 a.m.s for a while. But he said, hey, want to do 5 a.m.s? Nobody else would give me a 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And he called all the other gyms in the area.
Yeah.
Really, he did.
Yes.
And nobody wanted to do 5 a.m.
Right.
And I was like, no, I'll be there. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, I'll be there. So we started, and from there on, I started tapping into the real estate industry, loan officers, you name it, and then it branched off of that.
Yeah.
So this is always my advice to my people is hard work and availability.
Yeah.
And then you'll establish your value.
Yes.
Because he didn't know what I offered. He didn't even probably care what I offered. He probably just wanted to get a workout.
Right.
But then when he saw what I offered and said, oh, wow, I got lucky. This hole in the wall, I found this kid. And from there, I never looked back. I'm so blessed and grateful to Justin.
Yeah. He is the reason why we're connected with you, too. I mean, I went through my own boxing journey, and Justin, being one of the preferred lenders that I do work with, he saw that I loved boxing. He's been a big supporter of it. And he did at some point recommend you. And I was like, oh, I'll get there sooner or later. I'll check him out sooner or later. I got my own gyms. And then I found you and I discovered you, and I am so thankful and grateful for that.
Yeah, you guys are great clients. I'm so grateful.
So if you would give one tip to a young person who's just getting started in the boxing industry or in general, what would be that tip? And I think you just gave a million right now. I think
just what I just said. Stay consistent, because consistency is key.
Yes.
Dedication, consistency, right? Availability.
Yes.
Nothing drives me more nuts than hiring someone and them not being there.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to pay you. Why are you not here?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I got to chase you down to pay you.
Yeah.
Right? So availability is beautiful, right? Nobody wants to be calling someone that's busy all the time.
Yeah.
And then, hard work and availability. That's it.
Yeah.
Work hard. And then, like I said, once you have the opportunity, really establish your value.
Yeah.
So, I think that's with everything. I think that's in boxing, business,
yes.
anything you do. Right?
Yes.
So, no promoter's going to want a fighter that's not showing up.
That's right.
No trainer's going to want a fighter that's not showing up.
That's right.
So, and then, especially when you get there, they want to see that you're working hard.
Right.
And of course, you'll grow from there, right?
Yes.
But yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I love that. I'm always saying, how do we add value?
Add value.
That's,
just show who you are.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we are the value. Nobody sees it yet.
Yes.
Right? And sometimes it takes another person seeing it to show for other people to see your value, right?
I love that.
Like, really, like my gym, I have no family members, right?
Yeah.
Because at first they're like, oh, I'm not going to go to Eric's gym. What the heck?
Yeah.
But then when other people start seeing value in what I offer, all of a sudden then it shows like, oh, wow. Like, oh, well, maybe he is onto something. He's not just my cousin or whatever working this out.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
I love it. Where can people find you?
I am at the Shop Fit on Instagram. I am located in Upland, California, 56 North Central Avenue. What else? Let me see. Yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah, we'll have all the rest of the details down below for you and how you can connect with him on all of his spaces, because he is on Instagram, and then you do have a web address as well. We'll connect you to that as well. And the shop number is the direct line to him. So easy to reach him.
Yeah.
Talk about availability. He is always available.
I do my best.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
I try.
Always.
Yeah.
You even are up for a little chat when I ask for one.
I try.
You're the best. Thank you so much.